Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, let's get to Love Island Season 7. Who has watched Love Island Season 7? Let me know. Because there's a lot to talk about with this one. I don't even know if this will fit into one live stream. I might have to talk about it after the reunion as well, because I think there's a reunion in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But all right, let's get into Love Island Season 7. So I watched Love Island Season 7, and I will say that it's definitely different this time around than Season 6. Season 6, I believe, was a little better. I feel like the couples were more or less like, they weren't influencers, we'll say. Some of them were, but they didn't have like a known background. And also, they you have Peacock and didn't watch through TikTok. Yes, I have Crave, so yeah, I watched the full episodes as well. What I will say is this: Season 6 couples, so if we go through them, a lot of them didn't expect to be famous, right? So this was just like, it was a successful show because they weren't aware of the cameras. They just behaved in the way that they always was behaving. The only one I would say that was a little he was a little strategic was Kendall from Season 6. I remember when he would try to break up Serena and Cordell because he was trying to break up the strong couples. You could already tell already. He definitely had an agenda. He wanted him and Nicole to be the top couple of Season 6. And he was making sure that whatever seeds of discord that he could sow, he would do it. And I noticed that he particularly hyper-fixated on Cordell and Serena. And he would always say, oh, she don't want you. Why are you doing that? Oh, I wouldn't deal with it. And I think that for me, I remember watching those episodes bothered me a lot. And it bothered me because I realized that she wasn't given the same type of grace that other people would have gotten. And that's what pissed me off about Season 6. I'm telling you, when I left Season 6, I disliked Kendall with the vengeance. Like, I did not like him at all. The only reason I tolerate him now, or I'm like, okay, he's not so bad, is because the show's over, and you know what happens in the villa stays in the villa, whatever. It's reality TV. We don't know how producers kind of concocted the story. We don't know if maybe there are different parts and elements that they added just to stir up the pot. So I was like, okay, it's a show. It is what it is. It's just a show to me, right? So I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, let's see these people in real life. And when he had that whole scandal with the booty hole, when he had that whole scandal with his booty hole and whatever, I kind of felt bad for him because he had the revenge PORN situation. And to be honest with you, it's his own doing, because why were you doing that in a hotel room before you were supposed to get on Love Island? That's how you know that he wasn't really in it for love, for real. He just wanted to win. Kendall was the character that I really didn't like. I wasn't feeling him. And I also didn't like from Season 6 when they dumped Andrea from the villa and Rob and Aaron were making those little low-key snarky remarks about Janae. That pissed me off real bad, because homegirl was there for like not even 24 hours and y'all already, saying whatever negative thing about Janae, even though it wasn't her decision. She wasn't worthy to find love, but Andrea was. And I ain't got no problem with Andrea. I think she's a nice young woman, right? Like, she's whatever. But I just found it interesting that she was the one who deserved love according to Rob and Aaron, but because she built a connection with Rob right away, and even though she didn't want to connect with nobody else, again, she was just about her money too. And she found the first, handsome guy in the villa, and she was fixated on him. Because remember, these bombshells, they watched the show prior to even joining to see whose relationship they could try to break up. Same thing with the Casa Amor girls and guys. They're in a hotel room. There's a whole bunch of them. Apparently, there's more than what we see. And they stay in a hotel room, they watch the show, and then their job is to destroy the relationship to see has the strongest connection, so they can make it to the end and then get the $100,000, and then you'll be an influencer and you can have all the accolades or whatever, right? So now, sorry y'all, I'm talking about season 6 for a reason. So that's when I started peeping. Now, even if you go back to season 5, I didn't really watch season 5, but I heard about the whole what's her name? Soul Ties is crazy.
I feel like Soul Ties is crazy.
What's that girl's name? Soul Ties is crazy. The one who left with her man and he was like playing her face the whole time. Messing with other girls, and then they left the villa together because he got kicked out of the villa, or he got whatever, they voted him out, and then she left with him. What is that girl's name? I forgot. I keep in my mind I'm saying Mimi and Ao, but I know it's not Mimi and Ao. It's Destiny, I think. I don't remember her name, but y'all let me know. But anyway, yeah, the girl was like, Soul Ties is crazy. But I just noticed that the women on the show were treated differently, right? And then of course you had Leah, and I love Leah, so shout out to her. But I also noticed that she had a bit of a villain edit in the beginning, especially with the whole Janae and Connor situation. Somebody brought it up in the chat here. You said, yes, they pissed me off bad because Rob, if that's the love of your life, leave with her. Yes, he didn't. He was, listen, all it was that he was mad that his connection left. That's it. And I get it. He was emotional because he was starting to like the girl, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a game, guys. Like, it's a game. I know some people find connections, true, genuine connections, but I don't think he knew her long enough for him to have that type of reaction. He knew Janae way longer. And for me, I was like, well, you know Janae, you've known her longer. Of course, yeah, it sucks to lose your connection, but at the same time, like, is it really that serious? And like you said, he was acting all crying, and hold on, let's see his reaction. We're gonna play it back. We're gonna play some clips.
No. Sorry. What the fuck?
No. I think she deserves to find love as well. I mean, they're all here to find love.
Oh yeah, well, good luck.
So obviously talking about me.
He had a really emotional outburst, and that was wild. But anyway, I just felt like it was very disrespectful to Janae. And Janae is the sweetest person. Like, you can tell that she was really hurt by that. And she's actually friends with these people, or she thought she was. I mean, to me, they were just friendly. But you can tell that she genuinely was hurt by that. Because why would you say something like that? You know what I mean? Like, it was just very strange. I didn't like how Connor treated Janae. It seemed like microaggression. You hit it on the nail, CC Esther. It didn't seem. It was. It was. And you know what made me upset more about the whole Connor and Janae situation is Leah was laughing and giggling with him. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. I don't care. I'm sorry.
Don't get yelled at weird.
Wait, why?
But Janae, I give her a step.
Did you know who was going?
I know Leah has a strong fandom, but we're going to call it like what it is. This man, for example, Connor has a black grandfather, I believe, but you could tell that he grew up in a very, like, you can tell how he grew up, like, he didn't really interact with people who were black. You can already tell that. And I noticed that he only was into Janae because he needed to stay in the villa. He used her. The same way that the men, okay, Janae of last season is Amaya this season. The man was just using her as a stepping stool to get into the villa. That's all that was. So at the time when Janae was in season 6, she was the stepping. Unfortunately, I hate to say it because I don't want to regard her as that way, but she was used as a way to stay in the villa because she didn't really have a strong connection up until Kenny came. So they knew that. Remember, they were watching it in their hotel room. So like, okay, I'm going to strategize. Because remember, the goal is to get to the $100,000. They don't know these people. They don't know. They haven't been able to build the same connection that the people in the villa have. So they're just watching it like we're watching it, like a show. And then they're like, okay, I want to stay in the house. I can't break Aaron and Kayla up because Kayla crying every 2.5 seconds for Aaron. So that's not going to happen. Leah, she might be a viable option, but remember, Leah is like the preference. So he's probably like, oh man, Leah's going to have a lot of guys all over her. So I'm not going to touch her yet, but I'm interested in her. Serena is not his type. And also Serena and Cordell had their own situation going on. And then you had Liv, let's be clear, I love Liv. But Liv wasn't like she wasn't the one that people really wanted to get to know, because I think guys were scared of her, to be honest with you, because she's very into her, like, she knows herself. She's very confident. She knows who she is. She knows what she likes. She knows what she doesn't like. And a lot of guys get intimidated by that. So I don't think he was even after her like that. So then that leaves who? Who has Nicole? Nicole was with Kendall. So then, am I missing somebody? I think those were the core people. So now, who else is he going to go after? Janae, of course, because she's very friendly. She seems very sweet, and she looks like she would act. She's human. Like, she looks like she actually was looking for love. So he knew he could manipulate her, and he knew that she would think that they had a connection because she was open to it, because she wanted that. But then as soon as the opening for Leah came, that's what happened. And then my thing was, I understand that, you know, she was like, oh, they edited me in such a wrong way. Leah said that, and I get that. And she's very sensitive about that issue because people have called her out on it, and she gets upset when people do. But we got to keep it real. Like, from what we saw on the show, it seemed like you and him, like you and Connor, were laughing at her. And she even said, well, that's not your boyfriend. That's not your boyfriend. And again, disregarding Janae's feelings. And Janae better than me, because I would have cussed her ass out. I'm sorry, you ain't gonna put your hand in my face or yell at me like that. Ain't no way on this earth. That's why I could never be on a reality TV show. I'm too real. And I hate to say it, because I know Huda gets a bad rep because she's emotionally unstable, and yes, she does need to go see somebody. But I might be like Huda if somebody tries to cuss me out like that. Now, I'm not gonna provoke it. That's the difference. Huda was the initiator in a lot of the stuff. But if somebody gonna come yelling at me, I'm sorry, you're not gonna get a nice reaction from me. I don't care. Cameras be damned. You're gonna get told off. But again, you know, that whole situation was crazy how they disregarded her feelings. And I even see it on Beyond the Villa a little bit, because Connor doesn't want to talk to Janae. I mean, Janae doesn't want to talk to Connor. She doesn't want to be in the same room as him in Beyond the Villa, which is the sequel or whatever, conclusion, whatever. And Leah was like, well, that was like a year ago, so why is she still upset about it? And I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter if it was a year ago or 2 years ago. That's her prerogative. If she's still upset about it and she feels like she wasn't properly given an apology, then it is what it is. Like, you can't be policing people on how they should forgive somebody. Like, that's wild to me. So I don't know. It just always seemed weird to me. Like, her and Janae had this weird situation going on, and I honestly think I don't know what it is, but her and Janae, I don't consider them real friends like that. I think that she's more friends with Serena, and Janae is really tight with Serena, and that's why they're all together, PPG. But I don't think that they have that close relationship that we think they do, in my opinion. Yeah, I also don't think they had this wow, amazing connection. They didn't. They definitely didn't. It seems like Janae and Kenny just broke up today. What? Janae and all the Love Island girls and guys from season 6 unfollowed Kenny. People online are saying he cheated. Okay, I need more information on that. That's why I still side idea. Yeah, I feel like, and she never took accountability for it. She never did. And that's what I mean, again, as much as I would like to, like, of course, like, you know, they've moved on, so we should move on. I get it. But that, for me, if my friend or somebody I consider a friend did that, then nah, we not gonna move on from that. Oh man, they broke up. Yeah, and she was right about Leah, because she did not like Connor. They never listen to black women on these shows. They always go after the black women and give them the villain edit. Yep, facts. Let's move on to season 7 now. So that was last season. I noticed it. I peeped. Because they were definitely villainizing Serena. They villainized Serena a lot. And I realized it once the whole remember post Casa Amor crash out she had. And I noticed that on social media, people were calling her rude, disrespectful. Now, did she have to push the breakfast on Cordell? I felt like that was a bit much. However, she did tell him, don't put it in my face. She said it. And he did. And so now, that's why I just let it go. Because I was like, look, she did say it. It's not like he came up to her, gave the breakfast, and she threw it. She's like, I don't want it. I don't want it. She pushed it. but he didn't listen to her, and so her boundary was crossed. Now, would I have done it that way? No. But at the same time, it's a normal reaction. If I'm telling you no, then no. You need to back up because I'm still angry. But again, she got the angry black woman angry black woman edit. But I'm glad that it worked out between her and Cordell, and I'm so happy that Cordell had enough emotional intelligence to know how she is, and that is because he is around women, and especially women who look like us. And so he knows that, okay, like, she's just upset about the situation, but she's not really upset about, like, she's upset about the situation and how I handled it, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve me, like, trying and stuff like that. Like, he knew how to deal with her emotions. And I think that, yes, would I have done things differently? Personally speaking, yes, but I am evolved. Remember, these people are 20, 23, 24. They are young. So I remember when I was 24, I don't think I would have handled it in the way that I would now, right? So I could understand her frustration with the whole Casa Amor thing. She's getting told different things. I could get it. Now let's move on to season 7. Season 7 was rough. It is rough. I think that season 7 is different because I think they said that, hold on, let's look. Love Island. USA most streamed. Okay. It says here, Love Island USA's biggest season to date is now also the biggest season for any Peacock original in the streamer's history. Season 7 of the series accounted for a huge 18.4 billion minutes of watch time. About 306.67 million hours over a 6-week run. So it's a big show, y'all. It's a big show. And this season, we thought last season was pretty popular. This season was crazy popular. And with new fans came this weird fandom. We're going to talk about it right now. But before we talk about the fandom, let's talk about the show a little bit. So, from the beginning, the show was crazy from the beginning because one of the cast members, Yulissa, got removed for saying racial slurs about black people. She said the N-word a few times and she doubled down. And she's from Miami. Y'all know I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. I already know how them folks go. They like to say that, y'all. They think that it's okay. And she was saying it a few times, and also she dates black men. I'm telling y'all, those type of girls, like, they do not need to be casted on Love Island anymore. I'll be honest with you guys. I honestly feel like black women who like black men do not go on Love Island. It is not the show for you. If you are a black love warrior, you love black love, don't go on Love Island. It is not a show for you. If you are a person who is open to dating men of other races, then you should go on Love Island. However, if he is a sought after guy of said race, you're going to have a problem too. You can't win. But especially if you like black men, do not go on that show. It's not for you, in my opinion. It is not for you. It's not a show for you. And you're just going to get yourself into a situation where you're competing with women who are used to being preferred outside of that. And they're going to automatically see you as competition because they know that you're into black men and they are also into black men. But, you know, in real life, a lot of women who, I don't want to say it like that, but a lot of women of other races who date black men, like who only date black men, they have this kind of mindset that they will be able to basically take him. That's the premise, right? I don't want to say it like that, but that is what it is. I got to keep it real. They feel like they got to one up on you because from what they see and what they've experienced, especially if they've lived in bigger cities like Miami, I can say it for sure. You can see that happening. If they live in other big cities, right? They're used to that. They're used to seeing black men fight for them and want to be with them. They're used to that. However, what the problem is that it doesn't always go that way. And Unfortunately, we learned that in season 7. I'm bringing that up for a reason. Now, I'm trying to see where I should start first. First, we started with Yulissa getting kicked off. That's number 1. Number 2, that set the standard for everything, because guess what? Sierra and the rest of the bombshells came earlier than they were supposed to. They came like episode 1, I think. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember if it was episode 1 or 2, but they did. And that also made another difference, okay? So now, in the beginning, the couples were already coupled up, and you could already tell that there was going to be drama in the house, especially when Huda got with Jeremiah. Now, Huda is another conversation in itself. I don't want to say too much about her, because I understand that these, you got to remember, these contestants and these people were on the show for 6 weeks, and they are in their early to late 20s. A lot of them do not have the mental capacity to deal with what is Love Island. That's number 1. Number 2, you also have people who probably have never been held accountable in their lives. That's another one. Another problem is that this season in particular showed me how different the generations are, and how the dating game and the dating sphere and all of what's going on politically and socially, it is apparent when you look at Love Island season 7. You can see all of the tension, all of the racial tension, division, separation, the fighting, the drama that has become Love Island season 7 is what we're dealing with in the real world right now. This is the first time where I've watched a reality show, and a lot of people were comparing it to Black Mirror, and I believe that. I actually agree with that. I'm watching people's reactions, and they are excessive. It's like I've never seen this much discord in my life, to be honest with y'all. And I've watched, let me tell y'all how far back I watch reality TV. I have watched Laguna Beach. In my time, in my day, you know, I'm an auntie. In my day, Laguna Beach was the Love Island, like that. I watched Laguna Beach, The Hills. I watched a little bit of Baldwin Hills, but I didn't have BET like that, so I didn't really watch it. I've watched a lot of reality shows like Temptation Island, the first one, not this new one, the first one, the 2006 one or 2005 one, I don't remember what year. I've watched Are You the One? I've watched so many shows. Teen Mom. When you talk about reality TV shows, your girl knows them. I've watched a lot of those type of shows, and I've never seen anything like this. This fandom, I'm telling you, the reactions from people is the most vitriol, racist, microaggressive type of behavior that I have ever seen. And this is just even on social media. Like, some videos I'm scrolling, I'm like, what is this person talking about? So now, let's get back to the couples. I'm going to give you guys the ones that I liked, okay? We're going to talk about Huda and Jeremiah after this, because that was crazy. But when I look at Alandria and Shelly, because remember, Shelly's a Zoe. Shout out to my Zoe. Shout out to my Haitian. Shelly is also Haitian. And Alandria is American. They're both American, but, Haitian descent, American descent. Now, we have Shelly, Alandria. Let me get the girls straight. Shelly, Alandria. Yulissa got kicked out. Then we have, I'm trying to remember them in order. Huda. Amaya. Who else was there? Iris came in after. Then you have, who else am I missing? I'm missing some people. I feel like it was just too much people. Then the Casa girls, Clark, Grayson, all of them, Coco. I don't remember. There's so many of them people. And then for the boys, you have Nick, Ace, Taylor. We're going to get to Taylor. Then we have Pepe. Who else? Brian is a Casa boy, so I don't want to include him. Pepe, and I feel like I'm missing somebody. I'm missing a lot. There were a lot of people. Okay, first off, there were a lot of people in this season. It was just, there was a point where they were saying people's names, and I was like, who is that? When they kept saying Grayson, I was like, who the hell is Grayson? Who's Brian? And then I remember, I was like, oh yeah, that's Amaya's dude. Okay. And then they said Zach. See, I was like, there's two Zachs. I knew the Thai Zach, but anyways, it was just too much people. But let's start. Okay, I know I'm rambling. Okay, let's get to the couples. Okay, which couple should I start with first? I just have a lot to say. We're gonna start with, okay, somebody brought up Hannah and Charlie. Hannah and Charlie, y'all, that was a short-lived relationship, but guess what? They did have a strong connection. And the thing about Hannah, though, is when Charlie got voted off, why was she crying so hard? And then as soon as Pepe, like, her and Pepe got it in right after, like, that's crazy. That's crazy work. One thing I will say, though, is that season 7 was very much given freak off. Like, there were too many sexual scenes for me, and even for me. And I'm very desensitized to watching those type of scenes, to be honest with you. And even I felt uncomfortable. And another thing I realized is that it's filmed in Fiji. And I'm wondering if that's because of laws. That they can't do certain things in the U.S. So they got to go all the way out to free. Because it's giving freak off. It's giving Diddy party. It's giving Hollywood, Hollywood kind of entertainment parties on live TV, because it sounds just like that. Remember, they would take you to an island and then they just gonna let you do a little bit of things, but unfortunately this is on live. We see it. But that's number one. Number two, Hannah got it in with Pepe, and people said she did the spit start, and she did. And again, I know people be like, don't slut shame women, and you can't tell people how to, you can't what do they say? Don't slut shame, and, just because of her body, her choice, which is absolutely true. I'm not saying that she is wrong for doing that. She can do whatever she wants. But what I'm trying to say is that you can notice that a lot of women on the show use their bodies to lead. We're going to get on that. Because I don't want to just talk about people. I want to talk about the main points. They use their bodies to lead the men. A lot of them. Sierra, come to the front. We're going to talk about Sierra right now. Because Hannah wasn't there for too long. After she done did all that with Pippen, she got voted off right after. Sierra to me, it's not that she's unlikable. I think that she has some good qualities, but she definitely, when people were saying she's calculating and stuff like that, I always felt that way about her. I think for Sierra, for me, I never felt like she was herself, in my opinion. I always felt like she was trying to be like, even when she first came out, when she was like, I'm a bombshell, and if I can take your... Oh, I forgot about Belle Dasher. Y'all, there's so many people. I forgot about them all. Belle Dasher wasn't even there for that long, so we're not even really talk about her. She did her part. She played her part. She gone. All right. But Sierra, when she came in like, I could take your man, and if he comes with me, then he wasn't yours to begin with. That's what she led with. But then, over time, you could tell that she was very insecure. Sierra is insecure, y'all. The reason why I'm saying she's insecure is because she knew Nick didn't like her. She knew it. She knew that. I think he liked her in the beginning. He did like her. Because remember, he said that he likes a strong woman. He'd been saying that from the beginning. He likes strong women. He likes women who are strong. And I think in the beginning he liked her because he liked her vibe. He liked her personality. He liked the fact that, she seemed like she was like that vixen type of, that type of vixen girl. Hold on, I'm going to show y'all. Hold on. Since we're on here, how much time y'all got? I'm still okay. A lot of people were scamming for the camera. They were. Hold on. Let's watch her entrance. Sierra's entrance. Yeah, I got time. Listen, I haven't done live streaming in a long time. I got a little bit of time today.
I'm the full package, brain, beauty, and boobs. I don't care whose toes I have to step on. If I can take your man, he was never your man in the first place.
She was so confident. If I could take your man, he was never yours in the first place. And she decided to be all up on Nick from day one. Because remember, she's from Arizona. She is of Mexican descent. I think she has another nationality. I think it's Mexican and something else descent. I forgot the second part. But she is from Arizona. And you could tell that she hangs out with people who are from Arizona. Let's just put it that way. She was part of a sorority. She was an influencer before. She had a pretty decent following before. I think she had like 690,000 followers. So she was pretty popular in the Arizona streets or LA streets. She's an LA transplant. She seemed like, remember the entrance, she looked like a vixen. She looked like the type of girl that's like, she doesn't care and she's cool, she's laid back, but she's actually not. She's acting, y'all. She's an actress. She was bothered, very much bothered, very much. Even with Bella, when Nick had to choose between her and Bella, she was always trying to one up Bella. And she mounted him in the photo booth because she's like, look, because Bella was more conservative. Bella is half Filipina, half white, I believe. But she comes from a more conservative background, I guess. So she ain't want a kid. She ain't want to do none of that. And y'all know Nick is a 24-year-old man. So he's sitting here trying to get it in, right? So he's like, hey, I want somebody who's a little bit more flexible. So then Sierra comes in the picture. Now, don't forget, I didn't forget Alandria, y'all. I ain't forget Nick and Alandria. Don't worry. I know I did not forget Nick and Alandria because he showed her interest from the very beginning. She showed interest in the very beginning too, but we're going to get to Nick and Alandria after that. But I want to talk about Nick and Sierra in particular. So, Sierra tried to play off to be somebody that she's not. And this is the thing. This is why I want to talk about this, because being that my channel is about case studies, I want to go over this because I think it's very important when you start dating, or if you're dating, to do not be something you're not. Please don't do that. Don't do that, because people are going to figure it out eventually. And you're going to seem fake. Now, do I think that she did it on purpose to try to like win him and to be this type of person that she knew that she wasn't? I believe, personally speaking, that she's always operated like that. I don't think that this is new for her. I think that this is naturally her way of fitting in. And you can tell by the people she surrounds herself with. Remember, she comes from a racialized background. And I believe that she has gone to an all-white school, all-white neighborhood, so she's always had to try to fit in. Even with the surgery she's done on her face and, the fillers and whatever else. I think she gets fillers, and it looks like she got fillers and other stuff done. I don't know what else she has gotten done. But she's always been trying to fit in with people. You could tell. I could tell when somebody been trying to fit in. And you can tell that that's her MO. That's what she does. So it shouldn't be any surprise that when she got to Love Island, she tried to put on a front like she was somebody that she wasn't. And also her friends were on Love Island too. She's friends with Johnny and Cassie from season 5. So she knew the game. She even had a Love Island birthday party. So she knows how to play the game. And I think that that's how she's always operated in her life. All of these people, whatever you're seeing on TV is how they are used to operating. The patterns don't lie. That's why when people say, oh, like, it's just an edit. Yeah, producers can edit in a certain way to make you look a certain way. I get that. But at the same time, your actions and behaviors are usually patterns. And I don't think that this is the first time that she's ever hid herself for her true self. Because she has low self-esteem. You can already tell. Now, let's get into her and Nick. Because she got Nick, right? So, she was able to persuade him to be with her. And he, pretty much just left Bella hanging. And Bella was removed not removed, but she left the villa. She got voted off, whatever. Okay? Now, let's take a look at their relationship really quickly. I'm going to have to use TikTok edits. If you want to watch, if y'all want me to do a Love Island breakdown from like episodes 1 to 30, I won't do a case study. I don't know if it's worth doing a case study though. Y'all let me know if y'all want to see a Love Island case study. I might just do that. I don't know. Or I could do live stream. So it doesn't matter. Y'all let me know. But let's watch Sierra and Nick's journey. Because TikTok, Lord, TikTok is terrible. Let's watch Nick and Sierra. I hope you guys can hear it. But listen to this.
Besides the fact that it was 30 seconds long, the way that happened was just naturally beautiful. So, usually I take a lot more time than somebody I like.
I guess frustrations from the beginning today. In the beginning, it was really easy for me to say, be cool about it and just be like, it's a challenge. Like, oh my god, girls like him. Of course we like him. It's fine. Like, you're just kisses. But then you're going around with bombshells. Like, actually, like.
Hold on, y'all pay attention to his face right here. Hold on. I'm gonna rewind it. Look at this. Look at that side. Look at that side.
Actually, like, this fucking sucks.
These are clips you guys have probably already watched, but I wanted you guys to notice that this was after they slept together and he still didn't want to be with her like that. That's why I'm saying, like, honestly, Love Island season 7 should be a representation of how to move and when a man loves you or likes you and when he doesn't. When a man is interested and when he's not. He was not interested in her. He said 30 seconds. They had 30 seconds, y'all. And not only that, but they did it in public. This is the thing. Again, I'm not trying, because I gotta put this disclaimer. I am not trying to body shame anybody or sex shame anyone. But, however, I will say this one thing. A man who is so bold to do it with you in front of the eyes of others does not respect you at all. Hold on, let me pull this down. Sorry, y'all. He does not respect you. He don't respect you. The fact that he did this with her in front of people lets me know how he feels about her. And he even said, 30 seconds, it was natural and beautiful. Because he just needed a release. He needed a release. He was pressured and he had to ejaculate. I gotta keep it real. Then he said, I usually take more time when I have feelings for somebody. Meaning that 30 seconds, that's how I feel about you. It's a representation on how I feel towards you. 30 seconds is enough for you. That's what he said. Then he said, you're my strongest connection in the villa. Basically, he is setting it up to say, look, you're my strongest connection in this game. But usually, I don't do this. Like, this is not my style. But, you're giving it up. And, of course, I'm going to take it because I'm a man. Just like the sister home guys. Listen, you giving it to me, I'm just going to give it. I have no standards for myself. Listen, I got to keep it real. I like Nick, but I got to keep it real. He has no standards. He had none. Because a man, let me tell you who had standards. And this is the funniest thing. People were pretty much saying Ace is the mastermind. He's this and that. Ace had boundaries. You know who had strong boundaries in the house? Let's keep it real. Let's talk about it. Wait, before we talk about it, let me not lose my train of thought. Then Sierra was talking about, I don't know what you tell other girls. Insecurity. She thought that after they slept together, he was going to be all in on her. And then she realized that, oh, dang, Andreina came in and he wants to build a connection with other people. He's not interested. If he were interested, he would have said it. But you were just giving it to him. So, of course, he's going to take it. But that doesn't mean that he cares. He doesn't. He never did. He just wanted to be with you because he wanted to release something. And again, he said, you're my strongest connection. So he wanted to keep her because that is his strongest connection. But at the same time, his eyes were wandering. And he wanted to get the experience. That was Love Island. And also, I know people are going to bring up that he had a crush on Alandria. He wanted to be with Alandria. Yeah. He did. He wanted to explore Alandria, but Alandria was so fixated on her cowboy fantasy and black love. So he knew that you got to think about it from his perspective. He wants to explore other girls in the house. He knew Sierra wasn't the girl for him. He knew that, but she was the easiest. And so in order for him to stay in the game and be able to explore all the other girls, he had to use somebody. So she was his safe, comfortable win. Old Faithful is what they would call her back in the day. She the girl that when you break up with somebody else or the girl that you really want doesn't give you play, then you're going to call Old Faithful and she'll be right there waiting for you. And she will let you back into she will let you right back in. No type of stand, because she liked him more than he liked her. And to be honest with you, I know a lot of people are saying, well, she only liked him to win the game. Yeah, that's true. But I think she actually did like him. Y'all know think about it. She did not want to explore with any other guy in the villa except for Nick. Why? Because he was the finest white boy. And he would fulfill her fantasy. I'm sorry, I got to keep it real. He was the finest white boy in the villa. And in real life, her being able to catch a white man is a catch because that's her preference. That's what she likes. The girl grew up in Arizona. If you look at her friend group, they're all with white men. That's what she wanted. So he would fit her mold. That's what she wanted. And to be honest with you, I think that she actually did want to pursue things outside of the villa. And she did say that. But again, unfortunately, Ciara, your fantasy was not reality. We're going to get into that. All right, next, Ace. Who had the strongest boundaries in the house? Ace, in my opinion. Of all the men, I believe that he had the strongest boundary because he knew what he wanted. He didn't settle for, well, he played games because he's still 22. He's still very young. He did play games, but he knew what he wanted and he set boundaries. He was the strongest one. And the one thing that people don't like, that's why he gets villainized a lot, I believe, because of course he did some shady things. Don't get me wrong. I will get into that. But what I believe that people don't like about his personality is that he stands on his business. And that he doesn't care how people perceive him, but he's not going to do something he's uncomfortable with. And I respect that. I think that Ace had the strongest boundaries. Him and Pepe. Pepe also had strong boundaries as well. Because remember when Huda was trying to get into him and in front of Hannah and she pulled him away for the chat and he was like, well, I actually, he kind of let her down and let her know that it ain't that type of time between us. And I think for me, like him and Pepe, Ace and Pepe had the strongest boundaries of all the men. Nick, no boundaries at all. And also one thing I noticed about Nick is that people were saying he's two-faced because he would like say one thing to Huda and then he would say to her face too, but then he would always try to vote her out. And then another thing he did was he would, like, even with the whole Belle Dasha and Ciara situation, when he was in front of his friends, so Taylor and Ace, he was like, trying to decide and stuff like that, and he would be more open and vulnerable with them. But then when he was in front of the women, I noticed that he doesn't like to let people down, and that's people pleasing. Nick is a people pleaser, 100%. Ciara has low self-esteem, 100%. Olandra is a people pleaser. Olandra is a big people pleaser. Olandra is a people pleaser. Shelly, not so much. She's not a people pleaser. Who else is a people pleaser? A big one. There's one. Amaya. No. Amaya? Amaya, yes. Amaya is a people pleaser. Amaya is a big people pleaser. And Huda. Huda's not a people pleaser. No. Jeremiah is a people pleaser. Big one. Huge people pleaser. And he cares too much about what people think. And again, these personality traits all together, this is why season 7 has gone the way that it has. You got a whole bunch of people who don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to cause problems. Oh, I'm not going to say anything because it's going to offend my friend. And I understand that. But at the same time, your objective is to find love. But people are not really they weren't really doing what they naturally would want to do because they were too worried about what other people would think. And this is why I believe season 7 is such an eye-opener for everyone, because sometimes you need to be selfish. You gotta be. Ace didn't choose Shelly at first. Why? Because he didn't want people to think that he just wanted to hyper focus on one girl. He wanted to play the game so that he could seem like he was interested in other girls, but actually then I came to you and making it seem like we're a strong couple when all he did was mess everything up. If he had just been a little selfish and be like, you know what, I want to get to know you. I want to choose Shelly first. That's my first choice. That's the girl I'm going to be. And let things naturally progress. Then it wouldn't have been a problem. Nick should have told Ciara after he wasn't feeling her, look, I'm not really feeling you like that. And yes, we had sex, but you know what? I realized that I don't really want to be with you. I want to be with other girls, and I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings, but I don't think that you have what I'm looking for. You check off the list, but I'm actually, I don't want to be with you. No, he didn't stand strong on that. Because every time he wanted to explore other people, she would have sex with him. And then again, that mind jumble. And I know some people are going to be like, well, he decided to. Yeah, he did. He did. And that's a consequence. There you go. Another thing I noticed is that Taylor, we're going to get on his, what they call him, 3 dreads. We're going to get on 3 dreads soon. I didn't skip him. Don't worry. I didn't forget him. I'm saving him. Jeremiah, weak-minded man. I like him too. I think he is very intelligent. I think that he has very good qualities, but he's too weak. He was too weak and he cared too much about what other people thought. And when you show that sign of weakness, you can show a little weakness, but you always have to have autonomy about what you do. And you shouldn't care about what you do. I believe that Jeremiah should have had that type of Cordell spirit. Because Cordell, I love Cordell for this. Like, I can't say anything bad about Cordell and how he moved. Except for when he was at Casa, he was just being a little, a young-minded man. But when you think about it, though, when Miguel and when Miguel and Kendall were trying so hard to get him to leave Serena for Daya, however you say her name, I'm sorry, I'm not disrespecting her, but Daya. When they were trying so hard to get him to leave Serena for Daya, he didn't do it. He did have a lapse in judgment when he came back from Casa, but then after that, even when she put the breakfast on him, she yelled at him at the dock and started getting emotional and stuff. He chose her and he stood on it. And they had to respect it. He showed everybody, that's my girl, that's who I'm choosing, and that's it. But Jeremiah, the problem was that, one, Huda was emotionally abusive. She has no type of emotional regulation. She should have never been on that show.
Stand up for yourself, Jeremiah.
Okay, time the fuck out.
What we're going through, he's using her as a fucking scapegoat so that he can fucking stay in the game.
Wait, what are you
I just sat there and listened to every fucking thing he was fucking saying.
Okay,
Wait, what did he say? He wants to drop me to go with Iris.
Okay, come, baby, come. Let's sit down.
Come sit down. No, you're a fucking bitch.
Come sit down.
He's over here playing victim. You're a pussy ass bitch.
And they brought her in to stir in drama. I get it. Because they, come on, they take the psych test. They know when somebody's unstable. You could clearly see this girl was unstable mentally. And another thing that I didn't like was that she has a child. And again, I understand that there, you can disclose it when you feel like it. But at the same time, I don't think it's fair to other people to not know that a person has a child. She manipulated that entire situation because she said she wanted him to know her as herself and not as a mom. But that is also an important part of your life. You can't just hide that stuff from people and get them to emotionally connect with you and then drop it on them like, hey, I have a kid now. I think that's very manipulative. And again, Huda should have never been on the show. For as long as she should have never been on the show, and they should have taken her off the show before they took off Jeremiah. I don't care what anyone says. I stand on that. Because again, like I said with the Emmanuel Macron and Bridget Macron situation, it sets a precedent that you can be abusive, you can, be argumentative, manipulative, emotionally unstable, and treat people how you want to treat them, disparage. She treated those bombshells like crap. She did not need to be there. And again, I'm sure she has some awesome, amazing traits, because I know everyone is nuanced. Everybody can have good or bad traits. But whatever I saw on TV did not deserve to be there. And they just let her stay. And it just shows me that people love emotionally abusive people. I don't care what anyone says, because who's voting for her? And I know they said it's kids. We should be scared then. If her fans are children, we should be very scared. Because y'all gotta remember, these people are like co-workers. They don't know each other that well. So when you're thinking about a real world example of their situation, it's like you being with people you're working with. because they are essentially co-workers and they're trying to get to know each other. But they let her do all of that on national television. And then people right now are giving her sponsorship. She was on Alex Cooper's Call Her Daddy. She's doing Gymshark sponsorship. She's in Europe right now doing whatever she's doing. And she's being rewarded for having a shitty personality. I gotta keep it real. And remember, if you watch Laguna Beach, remember Kristen? That was our villain, and even she wasn't that bad. She wasn't bad at all, actually. If you compare, it made Laguna Beach look like Disney World. So, in my opinion, Huda, I'm sorry for the Huda fans out there, but she is not somebody that I personally think should have been on television. She makes for great TV, yeah, if you're thinking about numbers and, and you're thinking of that sense, the business sense. But when it comes down to it, she has a shitty personality. I would not want anyone in my life to date a Huda. At all. She's jealous, possessive, manipulative. She needs to fix herself. She doesn't need to be on TV finding a man. She needs to be somewhere getting healed from her experiences. Because I know she's gone through a lot of trauma. She said that. And I sympathize with her for that. I feel very bad because I know that trauma is the reason why she's having these kind of responses. Now, was she realistic? Yes. I don't think she's fake at all. She's 100% herself, her true authentic self. And I think that people actually like that part of her, because she was being herself. She wasn't being fake. She was showing people when she was angry, when she was upset. I get that part, but that's still abuse, y'all. Nowhere on TV should this be celebrated. Because, again, if we reverse the roles and we put Alandria coming up and calling people a pussy-ass B-word and being belligerent and cussing people out, do you know how many... Yo, when I tell you Alandria would be getting drugged all over the internet, she would... Till today, she would get no sponsorships. They would have booted her off. They would have said she's aggressive, angry, all that stuff. But because Huda is beautiful, she's a beautiful woman, then people will forgive it. But again, she didn't need to be on that show. And the longer she was on the show, the worse her behavior got. Because she's unstable. She's mentally unstable. You can already tell. And unfortunately, somebody who needs to fix their mental health issues, and they already have a lot of, things that they need to work through, they cannot be a good friend. They cannot be a good spouse. They cannot be a good partner. They can't be good to people, unfortunately, because they don't have the mental capacity to do so. And if people are enabling it, now that she's out, she has 6 million fans. So of course she's going to be thinking that she's fine and nothing's wrong with her and she doesn't need to fix it. And the thing is, what I've noticed about social media and what I've noticed about in general, just like, society, is that they will prop you up just to tear you down. They are bigging her up right now and telling her behavior is good and that she doesn't need to change and that she's a fan favorite, and they're giving her all of these sponsorships, all of these things. They are enabling her bad behavior. Y'all want to know who this reminds me of? Britney Spears. Even though Britney Spears wasn't as bad as she is, but Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, all those girls. I remember back in the day, Tara, what was her name? The girl with the American Pie. I forgot her name, Tara something. But what they would do is they would enable the bad behavior and be like, oh my God, people love you. Oh my God, give them all these deal sponsorship, And then where are they now? Now they've gotten better. They've gone to rehab, a few of them. But after a certain amount of time, that bad behavior is no longer celebrated and people get tired of it. And so now it's just this new thing because, oh yeah, Love Island just finished and yeah, we're going to celebrate her. But then the same people who are propping you up, in a few years, they're going to tear you down. And I hope that she gets the help that she needs mentally. because she should have never been on that show. And she messed up so many people's experiences just by her being on the show. Let's get into Shelly. Love Shelly, by the way. She's one of my favorites. Shelly, Alandria, Iris. I really loved Iris. I thought Iris was amazing. I loved all of them. I really love Alandria. I really love Shelly. Well-rounded women. She messed up Shelly's experience to a certain extent. And she messed up everyone's experiences because people are trying to find love. And while they're trying to find love, imagine you have to be there to support her because she always needs somebody to listen to her. Whenever she went and got her outburst or had her outburst, people had to tend to her. Do you know how emotionally draining that is? And you're just here trying to vibe out on the summer. Just being on the show trying to vibe out. And you got to deal with somebody's emotional instability. That's not fair. She really messed up Shelly's experience and Alandria's experience. Why? Because till today, people are still depicting them as mean girls. Because they decided that they were going to stand up for themselves. Now, I will say this, though, that Shelly and Alandria, they should have told her from the jump. I think that they held too many things in because they were scared of how people would perceive them. Again, people pleasers. People pleasers. They didn't want to get a bad representation on TV. But guess what? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You see, they kept quiet. And then the one time they speak out, mean girls. If they had spoken out, mean girls. I would have done it anyways. There's no winning. They didn't speak out, mean girls. They speak out, mean girls. So which one would you rather do? I would have spoken out then. I don't think they realized how bad the public reception was going to be of that standing on business challenge. Let's get into it. Alandria has always been quiet, always been there to support people, always been there to be that kind of, she even called herself, I think Jeremiah called her the soul of the villa.
I think would be crazy. I even though what happened, I was still Nick is hilarious. He's a cool dude. So I definitely wish him the best. And then Alandria is the soul of the group. So I ship Nick Alandria. I just want to see if it's you know what I'm saying?
Because she was taking on that role of being people's emotional anchor and support. And how did she get repaid? She goes to the outside world and is getting bullied. Till now. You can't even go on her page. You're going to see a whole bunch of, monkey emojis. Because the one time they stood up for themselves, people didn't like that. Because how dare this black B word stand up to our queen? And now they got monkey emojis in their comments. People putting the gorilla emojis, calling them ugly, dirty, putting George Floyd's it's disgusting, y'all. Putting Huda's face on Derek Chauvin's head and George Floyd's Alandria's face on George Floyd's body. You got people calling them all types of N-words.
It's Alandria and Shelly.
All because they decided to stand up to somebody who, by the way, was being emotionally abusive from the beginning. This is the new world we live in, y'all. Right is wrong and wrong is right. It's flipped. So now you no longer can be quiet. And all of those podcasters were calling them mean girls. I remember one recently said that, what did she say? They didn't really show their true personalities. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. They said that. They didn't show their true personalities, and I don't believe Alandria and Shelly are like that in real life. Okay, here. This is the one. Okay, we're going to watch this girl's video. Okay?
Nick Viall had a lot to say about Shelly, Alandria, and Huda on the most recent episode of his podcast. And a lot of it just isn't sitting right with me. Before I get into the details, my name is Riri. I report on celebrity and pop culture news, and you can follow me for more videos like this. Now let's get into it. I haven't even finished watching the most recent episode of The Viall Files, but I had to pause to make this video. So Nick had Dana and Katie from Vanderpump Rules on the show. They're talking about Love Island USA, and Nick mentions how even though Huda is so controversial, he really appreciates how authentic she is. Like, we saw how she acted in stressful situations, we saw her crash out, and she wasn't putting on a show. She was just being herself.
Say what you want about Huda. Maybe we have notes. Maybe there's things that we would have said, oh, I would have done that differently. Maybe, I don't know. But I think we all very much believe that what we saw from Huda is who Huda is.
And I agree. I think Huda was being herself and very authentic. She wasn't acting or putting on a show. But in the same breath, he says that he wishes other cast members were more authentically themselves. And they start talking about Shelly and Olandria in the episode.
Shelly and Olandria were very, like, I mean, Alondra's just got that, like, beautiful face, the posture. She's just very put together, but you're just like, you saw her kind of crack one time. You're like, there she is. And I'm not saying that's the person that she is, but I'm just like, I wish people would just kind of just not be so concerned about.
They mentioned Olandria showing her anger at one point in the episode, and they said, there she is. I just think it's weird that they are referring to her one angry moment as her there she is, like that's her entire personality. Like everything else that she's shown throughout the show, her emotional maturity, her poise is her putting on an act. Why are you so bothered that Shelly and Olandria are able to show emotional maturity throughout most of the season?
Shelly played it more close to the vest. She was more reserved. I get it. But it's like, we don't really know. We love everything we see about Shelly.
Right.
But we don't really, with Huda, we've seen the good and the bad.
Not everyone is going to have a major crash out and meltdown the second that things don't go their way. Also, the second that Shelly and Olandria showed the slightest bit of irritation in the show, they were dragged through the mud for it. The second that they showed the slightest bit of emotion, they started getting mean girl allegations. So which one is it? Are they mean girls or are they being fake and not showing their true personalities? And it's funny because in the same episode of The Bile Files, they're calling Iris a chill, cool, laid-back girl. I never saw her crash out. She was also very preserved, but Nick had nothing to say about Iris not showing her true colors. All I'm gonna say is if Nick tries to get Shelly and Olandria on The Bile Files, I'm gonna be pissed. Stay away from them. Let me know your thoughts and follow me for more.
Y'all saw that, right? And then this is the funny thing, and that's why, okay, I gotta tell you guys this, and I'm gonna be completely honest. You don't care. You shouldn't care about what people think about you. I'm going to say this right now. Especially if you're a woman of color, and especially if you're a black woman on top of that. I'm going to tell you why. Listen to this. Listen to these people. Oh, they act like they're so put together, and that's not really who they are. They're really these angry black women, and they're ready to pop off. Even though Huda was the one doing that from the beginning. Y'all see that, right? So black women, we just like every other race, we have different types of representation and characters within our race. So you have some women who are more reserved, more quiet, classy, whatever. You have other women who are loud, boisterous. You have other women who like the whole, I don't want to call it that, but it's the hood aesthetic, and then you have other women who are just laid back. You have other women who love makeup. You have women who don't. We come in so many different types of varieties, right? But look at how they're trying to group us into one category. And then when you look at Shelly and Olandria, the face cards, the beauty, au naturel, and I'm not trying to down any other woman, but they were the most natural ones in the villa. They are like that. They are just not, they're not like, okay, for example, Serena was more, she was a Miss Pop-Off, okay? Serena was Miss Pop-Off. And Janae was very bubbly. But people also said things about Janae too, and was like, oh, she's not acting like herself. That's not her true personality. That's not her really, I hate her soft voice. That's not how she speaks. As if black women can't have different types of personalities. Now, again, why did that racist white man and woman say that? Why did they say that? Why did they have such a difference in reaction to Olandria and Shelly than Huda? And even Amaya. Let's get into it. Y'all, how much time we got? Hold on. Y'all forgot about this scene? Hold on, let me show y'all. Here, let's talk about this.
So, Shelly, I definitely do want to talk to you.
So remember, hold on, let's pause it. Remember, Amaya and Shelly, it's been revealed that they actually knew each other from, they used to do modeling gigs and influencer gigs in New York.
So, Shelly, I
So
definitely
just remember that. All right.
do want to talk to you. Yes, and I don't mind speaking about it in front of all of the girls. No, of course. So, like, what's going on between you and Ace? Because yesterday, you were one of the girls that I did cry and vent to about him. No, of course. And I feel like you had many opportunities to tell me, like, hey, girl, I still feel a connection with him, and I still want to pursue that. Yeah. And now the way I view it is like, wait, was she being genuine with me when I was, like, telling her how rocky we are? Or were you trying to internalize that information and be like, okay, now, like, it's just weird. No, I completely understand. So when you, like, to me, when we... Because I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like things are getting a little messy right now. Yeah. Especially with the way y'all were hugging last night and doing X, Y, and Z. It's like, what's going on? Like, I feel like initially when you came in here, I spoke on the connection. Where the connections were made. I'm genuinely interested in Austin. That's my connection. Me and Ace, I said from the jump that, look, that's someone I'm still pursuing, but not in a way that I'm going to sit here and be messy and moving around and stuff like that. So I just feel like it's the way you got it was messy as fuck. To be honest with you. Listen, I thought we had a friendship, especially like us only each other. I finish saying what I'm saying. Listen, let me finish saying what I'm saying. All right, finish what I'm saying. Every time I talk, you keep talking over me. Let her finish. As soon as she stops talking, there's a pause, then speak. I feel like he made it weird to me that he was open, but you didn't make it weird to me. I've said, and we talked all the time here, though. So, you had so many opportunities to let me know you did. I did already. That's not when I initially said, like, nothing has changed. Girl, that's not being crazy. That's not being genuine at all. Okay, Amaya. Honestly, I'm a sweet girl, but I'm not naive and I'm not stupid. No, and I pick up on things very well. Yeah. He's very picky with his boundaries with certain people, and it seems like the boundaries is only with me. So, girl, you can have him. Run off to the sunset together. I really do wish you had the bus. You know what? None of this had nothing to do with me. I feel like her energy towards me was misplaced energy. Yes, I like Austin, but I'm still going to explore my other connection. I don't know how much clearer I could have been. She's trying to paint me out to be a bad guy, but it's like, bro, I told you what it is. In the span of 12 hours, yes, I got coupled up, but y'all not in a marriage or nothing, so what could have possibly changed? I did not do anything wrong. Like, I'm just so confused. I hate that you think that I was trying to, like, you know, be sneaky or want to get information. That's not how I move at all. All right, Shelly. Thank you for hearing me, and I definitely heard you.
Yeah, I saw Lau. You said that was the time you were mad at her. Yes. And crazy enough, even Huda was like, hey, you got to stop and pause and hear the other person talk. I was like, look at Huda. If you only use your own advice, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in today. And that's why I said everyone has different types of characters. Like, sometimes people can make sense and sometimes they don't. But again, I'm still not excusing her behavior because her behavior was terrible. Even towards the end. But let's get into Huda after, because I'm trying to go into sequence here. So Amaya, look at that. Even when she got into an argument with Ace, let's get into it. Hold on, we're going to reveal all of it. Amaya versus Ace. And by the way, it's not because I'm hating on Amaya or something like that. I actually like Amaya. I think she has a very, like, genuine personality. But she also doesn't know how to emotionally regulate. And I can also tell that she also has low self-esteem, people-pleasing tendencies, and she needs to work on that. And instead of people telling her that, I see... Okay, let me get back on the screen. I'm going to get back on the screen before I say this. The guys said it to her, but they didn't say it in the right way. They shouldn't have been the ones to tell her that. Why were the girls quiet? They should have told her that. And that's the thing that I didn't like about this season. I'm going to keep it a stack. Is that I felt like people weren't being real with each other. Especially for the girls. I'm going to say it. I'm going to be honest. This whole girls thing, whatever conversation, that should have been left at the door. And I know some people said, oh yeah, it's Huda that brought it up. And Huda was the one who brought up the girls thing. I don't care who brought it up. What I'm trying to say is that they didn't keep it real. They didn't keep it real. They didn't keep it real. Somebody from the girls' side should have told Amaya, like, I don't know if it was on camera, if it wasn't shown, but somebody should have pulled her to the side and be like, yo, girl, you moving a little too fast. You got to chill a little bit. But no one said that to her. The guy said it to her, but guess what? The problem was that by the time the guy said it to her, it wasn't connecting. Why? Because she was seeking male validation. I got to be honest. That's what I see. She was seeking male validation heavy. Every single guy. And I think the more that she got rejected, the more that she had to prove to herself that she's worthy. I could see it right away with Zach and Ace. We're going to see those examples right now. Right now, Zach and Ace. That's exactly what happened. And with Austin, I forgot 3 guys. And those were the 3 guys who did the stand on business challenge and were telling her, oh yeah, you did this, is this. That was wrong of them to do because they shouldn't have ganged up on that girl like that. But at the same time, it's like, it is a problem, guys. It's a problem. she does have that issue. And she was like, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. And I get that. She's right. You're not going to fit everyone's taste and style. But it's just common human behavior, guys. This is bare minimum stuff. You don't cut people off. It's just manners. You don't cut people off. You listen, you talk, you have conversation. She doesn't know how to do that. So I can't excuse that, unfortunately. She needs to learn how to do that. Let's get into her and Ace's situation. Then we're going to skip over to her and Ace, her and Austin, and her and Zach. And then we're going to see what's going on. Hold on, let's get into it.
Let's go. You're gonna explain how you feel. I'm gonna explain how I feel. We're not gonna cut each other off. We're gonna listen to understand. I told you already that I've had a connection with Shelly.
See, you heard him. We're not gonna cut each other off, and we're gonna listen to understand. He said it.
Then on top of that,
Hold on.
No.
You kept on making it a broad statement.
You're not gonna cut me off. You're not gonna cut you off. You're not gonna cut me off.
You kept on saying.
Everything that you're saying right now. Everything that you're saying right now.
You kept on saying. I'm open to making connections.
Everything that you're saying right now.
That's a broad statement, and especially after picking me at the ceremony.
Oh, since you don't understand what it is, I'm gonna be very, very clear with you. I do not want to explore you anymore.
I do not want to explore you anymore.
I love that, and I appreciate that.
All
Please
right.
get to know more people around the house.
And you done. That's good.
All right.
How this conversation is gonna
That's
go.
long. They had another conversation.
Hello.
It takes me a minute.
Okay. By the way, guys, whoever's watching this after, it says Ace is too damn short and Uggs to be acting this rotted. Amaya handled it too well. Look at this enabling behavior right here. But I'm just playing the clip because that's they have the footage. But I don't necessarily agree with this.
What you be calling your partner when you're in a relationship?
My partner?
Yeah.
I usually make up a nickname for them, like my own personal nickname.
Yeah.
Or babe.
Oh. Even babe is like a lot for me too. And I know she like to say that a lot.
Oh my god, so you want me to stop calling you babe? Damn.
Yeah.
Notice how, okay, again, I'm not saying, this one was a little, I could understand both sides of it, because she's used to calling people babe as just like a general term for everyone, kind of like sweetie, honey, you know, some people be calling people, oh, love, okay, love, like that, so I get that. But if a person tells you that they don't like it, that's already a full stop. So I don't know why she said you're about to piss me off. You see what I'm saying? And I think it's because she got upset with Shelly afterwards. That was the real reason. The real reason, and Shelly was right, it was misdirected anger. The real reason is that she was feeling Ace. And she thought that he was feeling her because he chose her. And unfortunately, Ace was not being honest with himself because, again, he was trying to portray as if, you know, he's really playing the game and I'm trying to choose other people. And so I'm going to choose you after the girl I really want after. I don't know if it was to make Shelly jealous because, remember, they knew each other back in the day or they had met at some club and he was after her. I don't know what it was. Maybe he didn't want Shelly to get too big-headed. There could be multiple reasons. But at the end of the day, he chose Amaya. But from the time that he chose her, he knew he wasn't interested in her. So I don't know why he was coming up with these type of, oh, it's because you said babe, I don't like that. He should have just said it from, like, he could have picked her and said from the beginning, hey, you know what, to be honest with you, I'm not really feeling this connection, and we could end it. What I will say, though, is that he does have strong boundaries. However, I will say that he was playing a little bit too much. And he should have been honest with himself. But again, worried about what other people would think, worried about what America would think. This is what's going on. And so now, today, in today's time, he got the villain edit. Now everybody calling him the mastermind because he kicked Jeremiah off, allegedly. And got the Nick and Taylor to be his minions, allegedly. They said that he was the leader, the ringleader of the entire operation of the villain. That's what he got. Because he wasn't true to himself. And he wanted to just play the game like everybody else. But sometimes, if you know you want something, you know you want it. Why you gotta play games? Yeah, Amaya peeped it. Yeah, she did. She did. Now, the thing is that, though, like, when she peeped it, the problem was she should have gone to him from the beginning. But she went to Shelly, got upset with Shelly. And you know what the thing is too though? Like, Shelly was caught in a crossfire, unfortunately, in that whole Amaya and Ace situation. Because Shelly was doing nothing but entertaining two men. That's what it was. She was entertaining Austin, and she had her little play card or whatever, her little roster. She had Austin and Ace, so she's like, look, I'm just playing, I'm talking to them, whatever. Amaya, though, she's very possessive. She only knew that man for 12 hours. Why are you locked in on him that much? You see, that's what I was talking about. Like, she, again, based on what I've seen in the TV show, she could be completely different in real life. I don't know, but I'm judging her off of the TV show. It seems like she gets emotionally attached too quickly. And she needs to fix that because she's going to keep having the same issues. Whether it's with Brian or whoever else after, we don't know. And already you can see her and Brian, they didn't really have anything really to talk about. He never really talks. She's leading the whole conversation. All right, let's watch a little bit more and then we're going to get into other couples. Taylor and Alandria, they're up next. Lord, I got to talk about them. All right, let's look at Amaya and Zach here. Let's see how they kissed first, because this one was interesting. Okay, here.
Well, a kiss would be nice tonight. Yeah. Yeah. He wants it.
I do, but I don't know, 50-50 on that. I feel like I should do it. But I didn't do that, and maybe that was the wrong decision kissing you at the time. So obviously, like, after you kiss me.
Where is your head?
Okay, that's what you think.
And you're not an honest man. You're an extremely odd individual, and I do not want to fucking talk to you ever again.
It's fine. Goodbye. See you later.
Shut the fuck up.
Zach and his 32 veneers. I cannot. You know what's so funny? Zach is the type of person where you look at him and he's eye candy. You can look at him, but when he opens his mouth, you're like, oh no, he's not attractive to me. And his behavior is terrible. He has terrible attitude. I don't like his behavior. He didn't treat her. I felt like when the Standing on Business challenge, when Ace and Austin were talking to her, I really thought he was gonna be like, yo, y'all need to chill. But he ganged up too. He ended up doing it too. And I was just like, okay, I don't like it. I don't like men like that. I really hate that. Austin too. I ain't like that either. So again, Amaya has no type of emotional regulation, and she doesn't know how to read social cues. And I think that she needs to work on that, because even with Brian, she's always leading the conversations. And then she was like, oh, because I talk a lot and da-da-da. And I'm like, no, it's because this man, he coasted y'all. He didn't, I don't think they've ever had an actual conversation where they both are really like engaged and talking to each other. It was always her just talking, yapping. He's like, yeah. He does that little giggle like, yeah. And then that's it. It was a wrap. So do I think that their relationship is going to be successful outside of the villa? No, because they don't have a foundation. The only foundation they have, it might work, is that they are of the same culture. They come from the same background. But the problem is, I feel like Brian's not putting in effort, in my opinion. Maybe I'm not seeing it because they're out of the villa. But while he was in the villa, he didn't put enough effort for me. I don't think he put any effort, y'all. He didn't put no effort. He just talked to her, laughed a bit, curled his toes, and they were off to the sunset, and they won the show. That's what it was. I think her personality, she has a bigger than life personality. She's going to be fine. I think she has a genuine spirit. I think that she's an amazing person. And I hope that she works on herself going forward, because she's going to continuously have this problem with men. I can see that already. Like, it's not something that's going to be fixed with fame. It's going to get worse, actually, because people are actually going to use her. All of those issues, same thing with Huda. All of those issues that you don't fix before you get on TV or before you get into relationships, is just going to go tenfold, especially if you're famous. People are going to use them. People are going to use them for their likeness. That's all I'm going to say. So it's going to be hard for them to get help for that.